Oh, even better. Let's punch holes in the wall.
All right, we are back. We are back with the breath of Controversy podcast. Talking about coronavirus today.
The controversy of fresh breath.
The controversy of the breath and the fresh.
That is fresh.
It was the corona. I apologize. All right. So yeah, we're talking about coronavirus today. Now I know that's something that's on everyone's mind right now, for better or worse. Let's go around and just get everybody's opinion. What the fuck? What is going on, America? What is going on?
America or world?
It's all bullshit. It's
Yeah.
all bullshit. It's all propaganda bullshit. I want to go back to work. I'm tired of this shit.
What is the...
Everyone go back to work. Open the schools back up. I don't care if your kid dies of fucking corona.
So let's go around. So we got Zach, Kiara, Sway, and Sarah with us today. Let's go around real fast and just what's your consensus? Give us like a 30-second answer on what's your consensus on everything going on.
Go that way.
All right, Sarah.
All right. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Okay, so coronavirus. What the fuck, right?
30 seconds. You're on the clock.
I can't do it. You're
Just
choking me
scream.
out. Okay, so coronavirus. I've gone back and forth. Now I feel like I have to talk really fast. Can I have a minute?
No. You can have 30
Easy up your time.
seconds.
All right.
I don't do well under pressure. Okay, so coronavirus. At first it came out, I'm like, what the hell? People are freaking out. Then for a brief second, I freaked out. And then I was like, holy shit, calm your tits, Sarah. It's going to be okay. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to just live my life like normal. And then I thought about old people. And then I felt bad. So I'm like super all over the place with this coronavirus. And all I'm doing is trying to educate myself and not scroll through social media. Because that shit makes me absolutely insane. Especially Zach. No, I'm just kidding.
Illuminati confirmed coronavirus.
For sure.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like Americans, a lot of them are very spoon-fed and aren't educated or aren't looking
Not my
to
America.
find the resources that really give you statistics of what's going on.
Big words. Big words.
Yeah.
What do you think is going on?
It's all bullshit and propaganda. When it first came out, I was like, who cares? And then now that I did more research, I'm like, who cares? So basically, my main thing is, why are all these fucking schools shutting down? Why is everyone making this a big fucking deal when it's really not a big deal? I've been to massive social gatherings afterwards, and I still don't have corona. Even if I did, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. I would just start shaking everyone's hand. I would spread it even more. Look, we're all gonna die someday anyway, because that's the American way. So get over yourself, get back to work, and who gives a shit?
All right, Kiara, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of you guys. It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't even want to go to the store because I know there's literally nothing there. So, and luckily I'm okay right now. But one thing I want to say is my job consists of cleaning, so I am a little worried about that. However, we've had to take so much precaution, with all this, so it is a little scary, but I think people are definitely overreacting over it. So
It's not scary at all.
The points that I always go to when this whole first thing came out and everything, and I'm watching the stats and everything, and trying to make sure, like Sarah said, get reliable stats and everything. And I think we're at 38 total deaths in America, and
bad.
something like 5,000 worldwide. Most of them are in China, and people
It gets up to 6 now.
People are constantly comparing it to
There's like a little ticker.
H1N1. Well, right, yeah. People are constantly comparing it to like H1N1, swine flu,
Yeah.
and all these other things, which came and we thought there was going to be the end of the world. Ebola. We thought it was going to be the end of the world. Zombie apocalypse didn't happen.
World
Right?
dominator.
Didn't happen. So, but I want to give some people some perspective. We're shutting the whole world down. The NBA is shut down. Schools are shutting down. People have to work from home or not work at all. All this stuff is happening, right? Things are flying off the shelves. More people in the last 2 months, or however long coronavirus has been going on, have died from heart disease from eating too much McDonald's. More people have died in drive-by shootings in Detroit and Chicago, okay? More people have died driving to work in car accidents. And we're not shutting McDonald's down. We don't shut these major cities down or give a shit about the drive-by shootings at all. At all. It's not even talked about anymore. It's like, oh yeah, it happens. And we don't give a shit about, we're not going to shut the roads down because a mass of people are dying every year from car accidents. So why are we shutting the entire world, our entire country down, and we're shutting the entire world down over 36 deaths, most of which were old people who were comparable anyways, and they had these other diseases. That to me is absolutely insane. I think if all 5,000 of these deaths were in America and there was something like 100,000 worldwide deaths, that's a cause for concern. I would say those are some pretty good indicators, objective indicators. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be not doing everything we can. I think we do, but I think a lot of the hysteria is going on in China, where the medical causes are not medical cause. The medical care is way less. For one.
Well, did you hear what they're trying to do in China with that shit?
They're insanely population dense, and they have one of the largest populations. I think they have the largest population per country. So it's like, if you're going to release an unknown disease that we don't have a vaccine for or don't really know what to do, yes, you're going to see like these numbers skyrocket. But even with the numbers we have, I'm like, this is not, I don't know if this is really a cause for concern. So.
It's weird how all of a sudden, like, I don't know, like, with the swine flu, like, yeah, that was a little bit of a panic, but why has this gone so far? Like, I finally looked at the numbers and I'm just like, wait a second.
That's what I said, see? It makes no sense.
Like, I'm just so confused.
Yeah.
Then here we are drinking Corona, by the way.
Cheers.
I think it's a media power move. That's what I think it is.
Absolutely,
I think a lot of it has to do with that and people, higher powers that we don't see working, trying to do something as rather be like, fuck with things. Because they're doing things behind the screen. It's all smoke and mirrors. They're doing shit. You post an article about like missiles being shot in Iran. No one's going to pay attention to that because we're all obsessed with Corona.
Right.
Every time we get obsessed with something fucking stupid, the government does something insane behind our backs. Rather, they'll be like, oh, what was the last thing we're fucking stuck up on? And then all of a sudden they change the fucking drinking age and the fucking cigarette age to 21 and shit. When they just... Yeah, that's what they do. They wait, they throw something out there, see what sticks, and then you guys all fucking run around like retards, start buying shit. And then they're like, oh, then also we come back and like, by the way, voting age is 37 now. You're like, wait, what? You're like, when the fuck did that happen? You're like, well, when you were looking at Corona.
Well, you were freaking out over here over these 36 old people that died.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see what the government's gonna do, because that's my big thing is there's something more to this.
They're just gonna shut down.
There's a bigger thing going on.
Yeah.
Why they're boosting this up so high, so that way we don't pay attention to our local government as much.
Yeah, and and I think there's something to put. We should all put our finger on something there, and that is when things like this happen, you have to more so look at what occurs afterwards.
Like Epstein didn't kill himself.
Well, I was gonna say, right? You were just talking about, well, what are they distracting us from?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I mean, how are you going to get people to forget about the Epstein thing?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You would need like World War or a virus that everyone thinks they're going to die from.
Right.
Oh, shit.
Okay? You know what I'm saying?
Tinfoil
Like, how do you...
Tinfoil hats.
Right. I mean,
Get the aluminium.
There's so many tinfoil hat people I've seen on all over social media, and I'm like, all right, look, I think some of these people go off on these weird tangents, like, oh yeah, Trump created the coronavirus,
Oh
Bernie
God.
created the coronavirus, China created the coronavirus, Russia created the coronavirus. It's like, okay, whether or not that's true has yet to be seen. But let's look at what they are pushing and what they're doing. And I think overall, who's profiting from all this? Definitely Jeff Bezos, definitely Amazon,
Walmart.
okay?
Well,
Definitely Walmart and all the stores.
Well, all the billionaires pulled their stocks and shit like that too.
And I also think I posted about this, and I know you guys all saw it, but we'll say it for the listeners. I think this is far more of a psychological experiment going on, and I think there's a definite push. There has already been a push, but this is a giant shove in the direction of keeping people home. We don't even want you to go to work. We don't even want you to go to school. We just want you to stay at home because you're like, well, why would they? What's wrong with that, Zach? Things are more efficient. Things are great. I don't have to leave home. I don't have to deal with people. I can just do everything at home. This is fantastic. Well, besides all the procrastination that will probably end up happening in that world,
never.
Right? You're far easier to control. You're far easier to monitor when everything you do is online. Okay. So, well, think about that. I mean, well,
And think about that.
so many tinfoil people are like, oh, it's Trump. I'm like, look, I think this is bigger than any of that. I think this is more so they want to make these pushes, and they've been doing this kind of stuff, right? Look at the success of Netflix. Look at the success of Amazon. Okay, these things are already like working their way into our culture. This sort of thing is like, okay, well, can we get away with people existing and getting used to existing in their homes and working from home? And kids learning from home. All that kind of stuff. That's what I'm sort of seeing, and it's more of a psychology experiment.
I can see that.
So
I can definitely see that. I didn't even think about that, honestly.
And we talked about that yesterday. We talked about that, yeah.
Yep.
But I think that's a big push to her too with technology and everything like that. They're trying to see. That's why I said that there has to be some kind of actual push in something, and I think that's a little bit more realistic of a push because this is just stupid.
It's the dystopian. It's the dystopian future of WALL-E.
Yeah.
We're all fat, floating in our things with our McDonald's shakes.
Yeah, dude. I mean, or
freaking out.
Or Idiocracy. Remember in the movie
Yeah.
Idiocracy where they sit at home, we can watch porn all day. It'd be great. I was baiting, bro. It's baiting.
Right. Yeah. And then here's the thing. They'll give you the cover of, well, this is how we're going to catch terrorists, right? And this is how we're going to catch pedophiles and rapists. Is we're able to monitor everybody, right? And they preach this whole like safety. And it's like, back to what you said earlier, everyone's going to die at some point. Right?
Yeah.
You can't trade your freedom for safety. You can't trade. It's like how humans have functioned for, I don't know, thousands of years, as long as we've been around, for the conveniences of technology, without talking about the negative effects of technology too. And then you've also got this weird Big Brother-esque element to it, where it's like, this is where my tinfoil hat starts to go on. I'm like, okay, hold on here. You think you're going to be able to trade face-to-face interaction for Facebook messaging? And
I mean, a lot of
have a negative effect.
A lot of people do that now, currently.
Exactly, it's already
and
happened.
you can already see the effects of it on certain people, like by their post on Facebook. Our mutual friend Boris, who was on there, posting about.
What did he post?
Fucking remember, he's like, "Oh, like no one talks to me, my real friend."
Oh yeah. I was thinking the other Boris. Yeah. So
yeah. And I'm just like,
nobody talks to me. And then
I was like, dude.
Yeah, Anthony.
I reach out to you all the time, you piece of shit. If you're listening, you cunt.
I'm gonna tag. I'll tag him.
Hashtag Anthony Boris. His address is.
Let's use it as an example. And if you report this, you're a fucking bitch, dude. We'll have you on the next podcast. So
if you show
we'll
up,
let him speak his
if
truth.
you show up,
we'll let
dog.
him speak his truth. But we'll use him as an example.
Message him right now. See if he'll come over.
Right?
Sure.
Just Skype him on. Like, hey, so what's this about you being a bitch?
So what happened with him? He made a post about, if you're not going to contact me or something, and other people do this kind of stuff.
But he's not the first person to do that. I've seen
for the listeners,
multiple people on my
Is
friends
this the
list.
I want attention? So I'm gonna say I'm gonna delete everyone who doesn't give a shit on my Facebook.
It's basically yes.
I mean, to that extent, people start beating their chest.
For the listeners, let's go over what was said. He basically said something along the lines of, none as many people have reached out to me. Like, I'm gonna start cutting people off. Blah blah blah. Like, if you don't give a shit about me, blah blah. And you reached out to him and were like, dude, and you've been reaching out to him well before this post. Yeah. Like, hey, let's hang out. We finally
fucking hung out.
Right. And right. But you'll talk to him and be like, well, what do you do in your free time? And he's like, I play video games.
Yeah, single player.
And then you're like, yeah, what kind of video games do you play? It's like, single player. And you're like, well, get a multiplayer game, and I got video games too.
I was like, I got a fucking PS4. Let's go, bro.
But even that, okay, let's put a circle around that. Even that, to my whole point, okay, my whole tinfoil hat point is you're interacting at the comfort of your own home. He's in the comfort of his own home. You're not going anywhere. You're both frying your serotonin receptors, overthinking. Your brain is going, oh, I'm so successful. I won 7 out of 10 games on Fortnite. Okay? You're not chasing a promotion at work. Okay? You're not creating an actual social relation with this guy. Okay? Because if you all met each other in real life, you're gonna get real fucking awkward. If the whole friendship is based on video games. Okay? And you're not giving attention to the other things that are more long-term gratification, like your children, like your spouse, like your other, like social relations, all that kind of stuff. And you have this instant gratification bond that does not create lasting friendships. Okay, it doesn't. And a lot of the video game crowd likes to act like they do because there's like the one time where like, this guy been playing Skyrim for 10 years, had got cancer. I'm gonna fly out there. And it's like that's 1 in a million people.
Right.
Think of all the other friendships you make on video games. That's all very shallow, empty. You don't really know that person at all.
Yeah.
Right. And then the quality relationships and friendships you have.
Well, it depends. I mean, you're having weird conversations. Got a little thing on there. Like, what's your greatest fear?
Right. I mean,
in the middle of a Skyrim game, like, hey,
Sometimes
what
if you
the
ask,
fuck?
they will answer though.
Right.
So.
A couple shots down, start talking about the void.
And here's a point to that. Some form of social relation is better than none, and that's where a lot of these communities started from. Was a lot of the ostracized people. Again, video games was like a nerdy thing, not long ago, and so it was the ostracized people that didn't have social interaction that created these ways of social interaction that were not normal, but they're better than nothing. They're better than being alone and being ignored, right? But now it's become such a norm. It's rearranging how we talk. And it's rearranging
you know what that kind of reminds me of too? You ever play the game Sims?
Yeah.
Love The Sims.
You love The Sims?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I feel like we're fucking constantly in, is like the fucking Sims, right? Like in The Sims, though, if you play the newer ones, they have like the social thing on there or whatever, but if you're a Sim, they can just go to work and they can jump on the computer and just talk to their friends on the computer, and their social bar goes up and it's filled and they're happy, and no one actually has to come over. That's what they're trying to do to us, man. They're turning us into real Sims.
Oh my god.
He's like, holy shit! I don't need to see you. I can masturbate to women online. I don't fucking need you anymore.
It's weird. It's weird. And I've constantly said, I may have even said it on podcasts before, I think our technology is moving quicker than our biology can keep up with. And we're not really talking about the negative effects on our biology. And so with this whole corona thing, I see a very strange hysteria and pandemonium push towards these sorts of things that have been coming and are happening whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think this is like a social experiment. How much can the media control us, right?
Oh, a
And,
shit ton.
and
with
what
the
can we get
internet?
away with? How can we push society towards this end goal? Right, that's what I'm sort of seeing.
Yeah.
But again,
I mean,
maybe I'm
wouldn't-
totally wrong. Maybe
I wouldn't even be surprised if like half of it's fake at this point.
Yeah.
Thanks to the
Do you know
invention of
anybody with
internet.
corona?
Dude, no.
No.
Do you, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Right
Like,
here.
that's
Right
the
here.
weirdest thing. That's the
Yeah, we
weirdest
got
thing.
two
They're
people at
drinking
the
over
table.
on
Do you know the current stat on cases? Because the case number is a lot
Actually, I have
larger
it.
than the case number is a lot larger than the death count. So obviously the death count, I mean, is like jack shit, but the case count is
Right,
pretty
right.
big.
Right.
The fact that I don't know one person with corona is interesting.
How are people? I just
We're more
don't-
connected than ever.
I can't
you know?
fathom
That's
that
what
people
it
are
is.
freaking out this much, and like, I'm sure if you ask them, "Hey, do you know anybody with the coronavirus?" They'd be like, "No."
I've been
Like,
asking.
well,
I've been
then
asking
why are you
as many
freaking
people.
out?
Yeah, I've been asking everybody that I can run into. I'm like, do you guys know anybody with corona?
So
This
there's
is really weird.
168, almost 167,000 cases.
Okay.
6,492 deaths in
Okay.
76.
Are you talking about the world or the U.S.?
The world. I can get the U.S. in a second. 76,000 have recovered from it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So.
But then they posted an article that the people who recovered from it are getting it again.
Well, right.
Really?
So this is
Yeah.
So the medical stuff. I've listened to various doctors talk about it, and some of them are just. They're very like doomsday, and then some of them are like so like what are people freaking out about? And it's kind of difficult to know who to listen to.
And I think that's the
right?
problem with that we see a lot when it comes to being so connected, is that we get both perspectives.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's hard to tell what is real, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the same issue when it comes to like Democrats or Republicans. Like if you listen to one side long enough, it starts to make sense.
Right.
And then if you
Yeah.
stop and you listen to the other side long enough, it starts to make sense.
There's a great quote
So-
out there to kind of encompass that. It was something like, the longer you listen, the sweeter the pitch, right? So that's why I think it's really important to always get different opinions.
I make jokes about that shit all the time. When people fucking meet me and they hate me, I'm like, stay around long enough.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? I'm like, hang out with me long enough. I start making sense. And you're like, you know what? He's not that bad of a guy. He's like, what the fuck just happened? You hated me like 2 weeks ago.
yeah.
Gosh.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it's a lot of middle-aged women too. That, like,
Middle-aged woman is
Nothing
staring.
else to do.
Karen's over there freaking
Yeah,
out.
with her hair cut and.
Where's the...
the can I see it?
Yeah.
Where's their manager?
For real though, it's like you guys need to realize or learn how to balance, like being on social media and being or knowing things or socializing in real life. I guess is what I mean.
Another way to put it, and this kind of goes back to the podcast we did last week about the to be a lady, and I kind of dove into personality traits, and we talked a lot about neuroticism. And I think that's something, again, to kind of go back to some of my points I made in that podcast, where I think society, it's not just that women are more neurotic than men by a small margin, but so that kind of goes to the point of your whole, like, this is a lot of middle-aged women. It's like, well, they are more likely to be more neurotic. But I think society, this is a great test to say society in general, both men and women, everybody is way more neurotic than they should be. Everyone needs to just slow the roll.
Yeah.
Practice some stoicism, man.
Yeah.
Look
Oh,
up
God, I love stoicism. That's my
look
shit,
it up.
dude.
Look it up,
Epictetus.
dude. We need a healthy dose of it these days. We really, really do.
I feel like it's mostly Facebook too. I mean, the internet, but mostly Facebook.
Well, it
I feel
depends on
like-
who your friend list is, right? Because
Yeah.
when you start having a bunch
does.
of fucking people on your friends list saying all kinds of crazy shit all the time,
exactly.
Yeah.
then you got people like me who are
That
just an
shouldn't be
asshole.
allowed. They should just ban all politics and like everything like from at least Facebook. So all these
See,
Karens
But you can
you
ban
know?
them yourself.
Yeah,
Oh, you
just,
can.
You know what I
you can
mean?
just block them
Like,
yourself. Yeah.
I was gonna
It's
say
freedom of
free
speech.
speech. I was gonna say free speech.
Yeah.
Listen here,
That's
Tommy.
true.
Let's
I mean, I'm not trying
Yeah.
to. I don't know. I'm just trying to.
She's
think of
holding her
maybe a
sickle in
middle-
one
I
hand.
think. Well, think about it. Think about it. When someone's political stuff comes up on your feed,
Yeah.
what do you have to do to scroll past it or ignore it? Literally, just scroll
You just
past
put
it.
hide or
It takes you
whatever.
0.2
Or
seconds.
scroll,
Yeah.
Right?
Or you could be like
or
me
if
and
it's a
just
specific
be an
person, like you
asshole.
said,
I mean, like for me,
remove them
yeah.
from your friend list. You can have a friendship outside of social media, but maybe they're like 9 out of 10 posts is just vote for
Yeah.
Bernie, vote for Bernie, vote for
Yeah.
Bernie. And you're like, okay, look, I want to be your friend outside of social media, but when it comes to social media, I
Totally.
do not want this all over my
Yeah.
feed. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I just can't fathom that there's some people out there that don't have like a sense of reality, like at all.
Like Facebook
And
is
that's
a
my-
reality. That's
Well,
scary,
just don't
isn't
get
it?
And this is part of my point. It's
Yeah.
a lot easier to control people when they don't have a sense of reality.
Yeah.
When they
Yeah,
think this
exactly.
virtual world is their reality.
Well, you know,
and that's where
insane.
we're. This is this.
it's
is where
easy. It's
pushing.
easy to get stuck into like the global village, if you will, due through marketing and how easy and accessible it is. Even if you're starting a business, like the first thing people do nowadays is not go hit the ground and do like talk face to face to be like, hey man, want to invest? They go on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like my buddy Nate, who
Yeah.
does the Kickstarter, like everything is online.
That's kind of what I'm dealing with right
Yeah,
now.
every-
I'm kind of trying to start my own little business.
Yeah,
thing,
but it
and
would be
I'm like,
so much harder for you to go out and be like, "Hey, Zach, like this sounds like a good idea."
Yeah.
Like blah 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 blah, and he would waste like a whole day doing that. Or you could go on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, spam that shit,
Yeah.
and then like
Reach
your
1 million people.
Yeah, then your friends
That's
would be
my
like, boom, 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 boom.
But here's some of the issue with that too is that 30, 40 years ago, it's easier to have a strong following because, like, let's say you went to church every Sunday,
Yeah.
or you went to like board game night.
The
every
original,
Tuesday.
You had a
original
community.
social media.
There was
Yeah.
you had community, and then you could pitch these ideas to your friends, and then if it picked up among them, well, there you have a grassroots movement already.
Yep.
Right. I'm running into the same issue with my manga, and it's
Yeah.
kind of like I'm trying to reach out to friends that I know
Yeah.
and get the people to read it. That way, I have more of this grassroots that will help the whole
Right.
social media pushing and everything, right?
Yeah.
And I've had a little bit of success with both things. But there's a sense of community that can really help you out, especially in a small business
So
setting.
basically, we just need more
That
D&D
we've lost.
game nights.
Yeah, right.
We need more D&D game nights. Get your fucking dice out. Start fucking rolling and pitching business
We need
ideas.
community. There's a sense of
Yeah,
community.
honestly.
There's a sense of community that's been totally lost from society, or we are
Right.
losing, and we need to decide if this is something that we value or if it's something that we really are just going to throw to the wayside. We're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I think some people think it's a good idea. Some people think no, these online communities are a real community, and I have my arguments against that. Right?
That's because a lot of the same people have had like, extreme success through online. I mean, you got people who have never been looked at a day in their fucking life going completely viral and becoming famous from fucking TikTok.
And that's where I go.
And like, you know what?
TikTok
Remember that
thing.
bullshit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was all over my fucking feed, and now it's a
still
fucking
on.
phenomenon. Like I was like,
Yeah.
I remember it being these fucking weird ass people in cosplay dancing, and I'm like, get this shit off my fucking feed. That's what it kept popping
There's
on
that
my
one kid-
fucking feed,
there's that one
and then all of a
kid-
sudden now everyone has a fucking TikTok,
Yeah.
and I'm like, God damn it, here we go
There's
again.
that one kid. There's that one kid that he just drops flying elbows on the microwaves and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, that dude's
what I
funny
mean?
as shit.
Like that guy's funny in that setting, and like he makes himself this sort of jester, right?
Yeah.
But remove TikTok, he's somebody that would be the Joaquin Phoenix of the Joker. You're just gonna walk all over him and not
Yeah.
even notice he even exists. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so those are the kinds of people that I think something like this is good for because they don't have an alternative, or the alternative is worse. But for the majority of people, this is not good, and we do need. I think
Right.
having a face-to-face community aspect is something that like we need a resurgence of that. somehow.
Zach's pushing church on Sundays and shit.
I'm not saying
Just
you have to.
religious.
It doesn't have to be
D&D
religious.
groups, that's good.
Well, right. It could be a D&D.
Yeah.
You have to replace religion with something. Religion kept people together.
Dude,
if you're
blood
gonna-
orgies.
If you're going to get rid
Blood
of it,
orgies.
which I'm pro, you have to replace it with something, right? And I don't know if there's a better alternative yet.
Yeah, that's
say that.
that's the human problem, right? That's why we have so many different religions, so many different philosophies. It's all just a factor of getting people together under a view. to give you morals and guidance, because apparently if you don't have those, you would just all be fucking and killing each other every single day.
Well, and I think it manifests itself in new ways. Look at the climate change group, right? Mm-hmm. They are very apocalyptic. They are very dogmatic. They're very heaven and hell. Mm-hmm. It's like the heaven is this place of trees are everywhere and there was no more technology, blah blah. While they use their smartphones all the time. So,
right.
Okay, whatever. Do you
mixed messages?
You leave your charger on, plugged in, and with the cord. Sorry, the mic got unplugged there for a second.
I wonder why.
Sarah.
I'm a child.
I forget what I was even saying there.
Shit.
Something about blood orgies and anal and...
Oh,
so,
what the
like that.
fuck?
Just about like groups and like religious.
Oh, climate change.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great example of where obviously some of these people are very liberal leaning and they're very anti-Christian religion and everything, and it's like, hey, like I'm with you on that, but they also have this, like you're talking about, groupthink, right? They have this herd mentality, and if you don't agree with us, you're wrong and you're damned to hell, right? Yeah. They have this very religious, like a religious instinct to people, I think.
Every group has
right?
that, though. Every group has that. Every group has those extreme sides where it's like, if you don't see it the way I do, then you're fucking wrong and you're ignorant. And it's great. It's so fun. I love being here on Earth. It's great.
Oh my God.
Let me just throw that out there. Like, I love humans in giant groups. It's my favorite.
Where are we going to Mars?
And here's an example. Here's an example of how radical and extreme some of this kind of stuff can go. And I'll continue to use the global warming people. I just had a friend on Facebook who made a post, calling out like boomers and people are gonna go look in the coronavirus. They're like, people are gonna be this hysterical about coronavirus, but look at all the evidence for global warming, blah blah blah, and they can't recycle or something like that. And then she said something. I wish I had the post. She said something about preaching to her family and friends on Facebook that we need to all clean up better and everything. And I came back with evidence on how America is one of the more global cleanly conscious countries, right? And that most of human pollution on every measure comes out of two countries, India and China. Over half of the entire world's pollution comes from those two countries. So for one, you really gotta address that. That's the gorilla in the room.
War on China. War on India.
Well, no. I don't know if that's the answer.
Like, if we nuke the moon and the sun.
You need to put pressure on those two things if you really want to make a dent, not your family and friends, for one. For two, the people here in America that are the real issue are like the super elite with all the yachts, having all these cars, flying private jets, all those kinds of people, right?
The ones who push it.
Right. But those are the kinds
the
of
irony.
people. Well, right, exactly. One of those motherfuckers is going to make a bigger carbon footprint than the next 2,000, maybe even 20,000 people okay? So if we're really going to put a dent in this, you've got to stop preaching. Your family and friends are doing all they can. We all have recycling bins at home, okay?
Right.
We're doing everything we can.
How is it about recycling?
They don't do this in India. They don't do this in China, okay? Like, that's where the issues are. So...
I mean, that's just kind of how it always is, though. I mean, there's always...
anyways, my whole point was, she blocked me after I said that.
Oh, of course.
She did.
Naturally.
So I made a whole post, and I was like, hashtag her name. And then on the post, I was like, fuck.
I was like, naturally, that's if someone doesn't agree with you, instead of having an actual
It's not that I wasn't
dialogue.
disagreeing with her. I was addressing that these are the issues.
Yeah.
So I'm like, your family and friends are doing everything they can. On every measure, America's doing really great compared to 75% of the world.
News.
Exactly, you know what I mean? So I'm like, look, if we're going to attack this issue...
Like I said, it's all smoke and mirrors, man. Every time people bring up these massive issues, it's just to fucking push back something else that's actually happening every fucking time. Yeah. Fuck global warming and everything. I don't really fucking care. Let the fucking world burn.
It's just an example of that group. It's an example of that group.
Aww. Sad
There's nothing like I could really do about it, like to completely cure it right now, but
That's all right.
I wish it would go
You'll
away,
be dead by then, don't worry.
I'm probably
So like you'll be all right. You'll be like a boomer by that time. You'll be like, you know what? It's not my fucking problem.
I want to be a boomer.
Like you're sitting there smoking your cigarette. You're like,
what is it gonna be?
not my problem.
A doomer?
Yeah, there you go.
It'll be a vape instead, though.
Yeah, we'll be called.
vapor.
They're gonna call. We're not gonna be called boomers when we go. We'll be called doomers. Millennials just all want to die. Like, can you guys just make global warming happen faster?
Oh my God. It is kind of scary to think also about like the future and everything. Like
That's why you
when
don't.
we're gonna be old. I mean, if we survive,
Yeah.
How we're gonna be.
If we survive Corona.
Yeah, I don't know.
The dangerous,
Obviously,
deadly-
we probably fucking will survive coronavirus. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh, don't be afraid to die now. You just started the game.
Corona's making me real hot, by the way.
Just-
Oh my god. Getting real hot from this corona.
Corona makes me moist.
Dude. Fucking dying in here. It's the alcohol, I swear.
It's the alcohol, not the actual disease.
The virus, oh my god.
Oh shit.
That's how they transport it.
Fever.
Oh. I guarantee there's somebody out there that really fucking thinks that coronas give you the corona.
I believe it too, because people are dumb.
Yeah.
There's probably a group. there's probably another giant group, another herd mentality group. It's like Corona's the devil, and it gives us Corona. And it's like, here we
And
go.
then there's like another group that's like drinking Corona beers, hoping that it gives them Corona.
Yeah,
like
that'd be me.
Like some Jim Jones. Is that the right guy with the Kool-Aid?
I don't know.
That
I don't
sounds
exactly
about
It was
right.
something Jones, I think.
I think it was like
I'm
Mike
just
Jones.
kidding.
It was something.
I said Alex
I think it was Jones. Alex Jones.
Mike Jones. Mike
The
Jones.
Kool-Aid thing, or that one meme I think about now, the Kool-Aid. Is the Kool-Aid man
Yeah,
the
Jim
glass
Jones.
or the liquid?
Yeah.
Cyanide Kool-Aid? Is that what it was?
It was Jim
Cyanide
Jones.
Kool-Aid, oh no.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
No,
well,
we were talking about like some sort of Kool-Aid.
this is going way off the rails. Now we're talking about cults and shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kool-Aid, we are now sponsored by Kool-Aid.
Oh my god.
Ours contains cyanide. Do not give
Drink
to,
if you dare.
Do not give to infants.
We'll tell people that it prevents the coronavirus.
Right,
and it would
yeah.
definitely get drank.
I mean, cyanide.
It's
It's actually like super smart. We should come up with some stupid thing. We've cured Corona.
See if it happens.
And so like instant 10 grand.
Right?
The Corona rock.
Selling them
or
Kool-Aid,
something.
dude.
But here's the thing, too,
Corona
when it comes
Glock.
to the coronavirus, like, mind over matter. And when everyone is so fixated on the fact that I'm going to get this, I'm going to blah, 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 like, yeah, you're going to fucking get it and you're going to get sick and you're stupid.
How many times have you been sick from something like the influenza and survived?
Right.
The influenza kills how many people every year?
Yes.
Right? How
Why
many
are
times
we
have you
worried
gotten
about
that
it?
and you've
Yeah.
been perfectly fine?
It's all, like I said, it's all smoke and mirrors. That's
Yeah.
what it is. I'm just curious to see how it kind of unfolds. I'm surprised it's still going.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's
Like,
getting worse.
I know,
It's
every time
not
I go
like,
on
we're not
here,
going downhill yet. We're
it's
still
like
crawling up.
Something else is shutting down. I'm like, how is this still a thing? I'm like,
Schools
why?
have been shut down here in Wisconsin since what? It was April 16th, is it? That's a long time.
Yeah, we
Like,
didn't get a
what the
date yet.
fuck?
Yeah.
Why?
Again, I really think that if there is some sort of conspiratorial push,
Yeah.
it's to see if they can get away with, pushing us all to live out of our houses, and so it's easier to monitor you because you've got this we all have a phone
A GPS
literally
tracker.
within arm's reach of us
Yeah.
right now. You know what I mean? And that's
could
what's
be
it's
And then,
it's
and then
weird,
before you
man.
know it, the cops are gonna have those cool little balls that roll down and tell you who's gonna commit a murder.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm talking about? They just show to your house. You're like, what's going
Is
on?
that like the white people in the bathtub or something?
Yeah.
I don't remember what movie that is, but I
You're just
totally
like, what
remember
the
that. Yeah.
Illuminati confirmed. We're all good. Everyone's happy. It's all good.
What movie is that though?
I can't fucking
Yeah, I don't
remember. I
either.
think it's like Terminator.
No. Go
I
home.
think it's like Debbie Does Dallas. You want to look that movie up? It's a classic.
Oh,
Oh my
God.
gosh. Yeah.
So needless to say, Corona's bullshit. That's my take. Horse shit.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's real. Do you guys think it's real? Like
I
the
think it's
coronavirus?
real,
But I don't
yeah.
think it's a big deal.
That's gonna be the next
Yeah.
thing. Coronavirus deniers.
Let's start a
They're
movement.
like flat earthers or
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, let's do it. Let's start a movement.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Disease is
It's
fake.
probably already a
Look,
movement out
man.
there. I
Yeah, about
guarantee.
this.
I guarantee.
I'm down. I'm joining that group.
I don't know.
Give me Corona or give me liberty.
I think a lot of it is just like we've all said. It's just the hypochondriacs. Hypochondriacs
Yeah.
are loving this, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is like I said on Facebook.
I mean, let's just stop and
they're looking
think.
at all of us going, "Told you so."
Like, God, don't you guys all know there's tiny little bugs on your body right now?
Oh my god. Stop.
Let that sink in. There's things that fuck in your eyes while you're sleeping.
Oh, no. All these people
You're
are going,
constantly
oh,
getting
no.
skull fucked 24 hours a day. Let that sink in. And then you die.
That's it.
And then you
That's
die.
your life, Kira.
That's your life. Pay bills and get skull fucked.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Dude,
it.
Scaring her. She's just like, oh shit.
Just giving her existential crisis. Just
Beer's making me warm. I'm getting corona.
don't worry. The existential crisis only gets worse with age.
Great.
Great. It only gets worse from here.
And my grandma's a hypochondriac.
Oh,
so
even
maybe
better.
I'll be,
Well, that's good.
I already
Runs in the
kinda am,
family.
so,
That's
yeah.
good. Tiny little bugs all over you.
What can you do?
There you
What
go.
can you do?
What can you do?
Just pop some acid and stare at yourself in the mirror for a while.
Don't do that. That is the most
Don't
terrifying.
do that. Advice from
Don't
Kira:
do
do not
that.
pop acid and look in the mirror for a little
Oh, it's so scary. Don't look at your nails either, because that shit's scary as hell. I don't know why.
That's good.
All right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you guys for listening, and catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.